Hello, my amazing artists. Today we're going to be making a recycled flower collage. So what you'll need for this art activity is a piece of paper. This could be any piece of paper you have at home. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, a glue stick, a pencil, and then I've collected some boxes. So I have some of the food I feed my baby. I have my snack food box, and I also have a pasta box. So the reason why I have these boxes are because of the colors, right? I want to use yellow, blue, and green mainly for my collage. So depending on what kind of boxes you have will be the colors that you use. I'm going to start drawing just circles. So I want 4 flowers. So I'm going to draw 4 circles at different heights. These don't have to be perfect because we're going to be gluing on top of them. Then I'm going to draw the stems. So 2 lines going down. Again, they don't have to be perfect. Try your best, forget the rest. All right, so the petals are kind of like these almond shapes or teardrop shapes coming out. You could draw ovals if you want. You don't have to make the petals look like my petals. If you just want to draw lines, you could do lines too because you're going to glue pieces of your boxes on top. So I'm going to draw these petals for each flower. Maybe you're inspired by a specific type of flower and you don't want to do these sunflower-like flowers that I've done. If you want to do dandelions, you could do dandelions. You could do roses. Well, dandelions are weed. You could do daisies, tulips. Oops. If you mess up your line, you could always draw right over it. Then I'm going to add some grass at the bottom. I'm going to add some of my leaves coming off the stems. These are all optional, right? You're the artist, so you decide what your collage will look like. Okay, now I'm ready to start cutting my boxes into shapes. So I'm going to start with the stems, the leaves, and the grass. So I'll be using my box that is mainly green. You might need help from an adult for this. Try your best. Also, if you don't want to use boxes, or if you don't have snack boxes at home that you're going to recycle, you can use colored paper, or you can color blank paper and cut blank paper that you colored into different shapes. So I'm going to cut out some long rectangles for my stems. And you might notice as you are going, while you're working, that you want to change your artwork, you want to change your drawing. That's up to you, and that's totally fine. I'm just trying to measure out the size of my rectangle, then I'm going to glue it down. Press, press, press. For my smaller stems, I'm going to measure it with my thumb and then bend at the spot where I need to cut it so that it's the right height for my flower. So see how I bended my rectangle so that I know where to cut. And then I'm going to glue that down. Okay. You don't have to use a glue stick. If you have Elmer's glue, you could, remember I told you guys, just a dot, not a lot, right? Dots of Elmer's glue go a long way. All right, so I have all of my stems. So now I'm ready to do the grass and the leaves. So the trick for the grass, I like to just cut long triangles that slightly curve. And again, these don't have to match up exactly with your drawing. I could use these for the leaves too. All right, so I'm going to cut tall triangles so I could continue my grass all along. And you might decide that you want to overlap your shapes in some spots. Okay, so now that I have all of my grass, I'm ready to cut out my petals. I'm actually cutting out an almond shape. So you could cut out a shape like this, or if you want, you could use a triangle for the leaves, I mean. You could use triangles for the leaves, or you can use an almond shape. You want the balloon? Here. Okay, so now I am ready to start my flowers, the top of my flowers. So I need the center part of my flowers. And actually, this box has a good amount of brown on it. So I'm going to cut out this area that's full of brown. And I'm going to use that for the center of my flowers. And I'm actually going to take a pencil and draw my circles so that I can make the best use of the space that I have with the boxes. And again, these don't have to be exactly the same size as the ones that you already drew. Your drawing was basically just a guideline to show you where you want your shapes and your pieces to go. You could always erase the lines afterwards, just glue on top of it. So I'm just placing my circles down so I know where they're going to go before I glue. Okay, now I'm ready to cut out the petals. So I'm going to use the yellow spots of my box. And again, I'm going to do just the same type of cutting that I did for my grass. So these tall triangles that are slightly curved on the side. So I start at the bottom and I'm going to cut the line, curve it out, and then meet at the top. Just to show you guys the shape, I'm going to draw them out. And then cut. Wyatt, it's okay. I know. Okay, so now I'm ready for my sky. So I'll be using my box that is mainly blue. And I'm going to cut it into different sizes of triangles. So I find when you're making a collage or a mosaic, it's easiest to fit triangles together. So you want some triangles that are big, some triangles that are small, and the spaces in between the petals, you're going to want some really small triangles. And you're going to try and just fit them in the best that you can. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue down and space out my triangles. And if there's some letters or other colors on your triangles besides blue, that's totally fine. It actually makes your artwork more unique. And that means that it's original and different from anything else. So sometimes you have to troubleshoot. That means you have to figure out the different sizes. Maybe you have to cut a smaller triangle to fit. Maybe it's not a perfect triangle. That's okay. If your shapes become trapezoids or squares or rectangles, that's totally fine. All right, so I'm going to speed up this process so you can see. In some of the spots down below, like in between my grass, I had to use tiny little rectangles. So you can cut small rectangles too, and just try your best to fit these pieces in. Okay, so I think I'm just about done. I hope that you guys have a fantastic time making your recycled art. I can't wait to see what you make. Goodbye.